All right, I am with Dominic Keating. We're at Oz Comic Con. It's on at the Perth Convention and Exhibition Centre this weekend. Welcome back to Perth. You've been to Australia a few
God
times,
bless.
Dominic.
I have, yes, Brett. This is, I think, my fourth time, maybe fifth even. A couple of times to New Zealand. We can say that, can't we?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
New Zealand.
We'll ask you about the Australian accent soon.
I borrow a pencil. Pin. Anyway, yeah. So, and I've been to Perth one time before. This is probably right when the show got started.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 12, 13 years ago I first came out here.
So go way back. Were you a Trek fan before you got into your role as Malcolm Reeder's Enterprise, or how did that come about?
I guess you could say, sort of, as a child. That does date me a bit.
Well, it's
I
long
watched the original show growing up in England, and I nagged my dad rotten to get what was one of the first colour TVs in our street, ostensibly to see Star Trek in colour. And this multi-broadcast aircraft hangar arrived with louvered door. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? Surely not a TV. Oh my God. And it was just absolutely like wowed by the fact that Spock's shirt was blue. And yeah, so as a kid I loved that show, and then it left me, and then I fetched up in LA years and years later as an actor, and funny story, long story, funny short. I ended up living on a commune in Malibu for the first 2 years of my sojourn into Los Angeles. And it was all run by this sort of ex-peripatetic hippie called Victor. And there was a huge TV satellite dish in this field. It was right in the middle of Malibu. It had been the most prime real estate. And he said, rather magnanimously, I could hook myself up and get a TV and please watch telly. And I said, oh, great. What he neglected to tell me was that you had to watch what he was watching. And Victor only watched one of two things. It was either Star Trek The Next Generation, big Trek head, or XXX rated porn from Canada.
So you like the Star Trek?
You'd come in of an afternoon or an evening and turn on the TV and, oh my God! Oh no, wait a minute. It's just Patrick Stewart's bald head. So I got a bit of a rebirth into Trek then, and I was interested because an English actor was leading an American TV show, which was, what I had in mind, as it were.
So that would have helped with your role then?
Well, it was bizarre, man. I had this little toy gun at the ranch. It was called the Ranch. I
thought it was
and it shot Enterprise-looking projectiles. Years later, I'd moved up to Hollywood and I was trying to get on with my career, and I got this job, man. This was 7 years later or something. Yeah. And I was taking a shower in my little rental apartment in Beechwood Canyon, and having got the job, and I suddenly stopped and went, oh my God. And I rushed dripping wet into my bedroom, pulled open this drawer of this chest of drawers that I'd found on this, ranch place, and there I'd kept these little projectiles, and they sat and still do on my TV ever since, as an homage. The universe knew somehow that I was going to be connected with this show.
Let's
Isn't that
go.
Wild? Yeah.
When you run into the fans, with the Enterprise series being set, I think 100 years before Kirk,
We were.
Something like that, yeah. But do you find that they try and look for the holes that between? Because I thought that Star Trek series linked very well.
Apparently, our show is littered with all sorts of anomalous aberrations. Yeah, Manny Koto, who took over the show came on board as a staff writer in the third season and was clearly very good at it.
Yeah.
And he's since gone on to have a massive career in Hollywood. He's run Dexter, 24, you name it, blah, blah, blah.
Favorite shows.
He got to showrun the fourth season for us. I think Brannon, God bless. I mean, Brannon and Rick had done 17 years, a variation of a theme. And they were tired, I think, and it'll never be done again. So I can't say enough about that accolade.
Yeah.
But Manny apparently did rewrite and write well the aberrations that have been, in our 4 years, and then tied it up neatly with a good bow at the end. And
that was the fourth season.
Yeah.
I found that really refreshing because they just filled in all the gaps, all the holes.
Apparently they did.
Even the Klingon ridges. That was my first one. I said, hold on a sec, but in the fourth season they explained it.
You really know more than I do.
I thought that was gold.
Klingon's a Klingon, isn't it?
Klingon, yeah, it was like the original series. They didn't have the ridges, and then got dark. So yeah, I thought they filled in the holes beautifully in
Yeah.
season 4. But it must have been disappointing, knowing that it was supposed to be for 7 seasons, but you found out at the end of the 3rd series that the 4th would be the last.
No, we were. It was always a little bit,
Up in the air.
in the back. John Billingsley was the most, and he probably had the most experience of all of us of actually being on shows, and realised that our numbers weren't quite as bulletproof as they could be. But we didn't hear until, I tell you when we heard that we were done, was right in the middle of shooting that Mirror Darkly.
That was
double
the second last episode.
Yeah, well, we had about, I don't know, we had a few weeks to go.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick towards the end.
I didn't realise it was that late, because
Yeah,
that was a brilliant
I was
episode.
coming out
for
of
Mirror.
the Hollywood Y and took a phone call on my cell, and it was Rick, and he goes, "Dominic, are you sitting down?" And I was like, "Oh God, should I?" He said, "Yeah, you better have." Yeah, so, and, as fate would have it, whoever was, Jim Conway had come back, who directed our pilot, and it was the first time he'd ever come back to direct another episode in all those years, and it was the first part of Mirror Darkly. And I can't think who the next director was, but either they'd heard we'd been cancelled and he didn't want to sully his reputation with a failed show. Anyway, the director that was going to come on board and do the next one, for whatever reason, wasn't coming. And Marvin Rush, our DP, stepped up. So it was a very, it was a nice way to sort of, just get through the first, hit of knowing you were cancelled. Because it was a very in-house family feeling, and a fun way to, but we all were looking around at each other in that episode going, well, this is it. Shiza.
Jeez. Were you happy with the way it all wrapped up?
As my mother used to say.
Were you happy with the way it all wrapped up in the end?
Final episode, it never bothered me.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd met Marina and Jonathan on the convention circus and loved them both. The scene I shot with Jonathan was one of the funnest days I had in that kitchen galley scene. He's just a trooper.
Yeah.
He really is a funny man, and it was a really fun day. And if I'm going to sort of defend their decision, they had 17 years of their tenure, and on their watch, and it wasn't just about our show. So I felt that it was somewhat right and fitting. I thought the device was a bit clunky. Can't say that it wasn't, but it's episodic TV, honey. I mean, it's never perfect. So once you got past the, why are they there? Why not? I quite liked it.
Did you have a favourite episode of Enterprise?
Oh, well, the ones I was in.
Yeah, of course. Very much so.
God,
do you get asked about certain episodes by Trek fans and thinking, I don't even remember doing that?
Dude.
What sort of answers do you give to those sort of
I
things?
to admit this, but I used to go home to England after we'd shoot the show, and they were running it at different times, so I hadn't seen a lot of the episodes.
Wow.
I've seen most, but a lot I
Most.
haven't seen. Quickly to answer rather less facetiously your question, I thought the best episode we ever shot was Cogenitor, which was the one that Connor did with LeVar directing. I thought that was not just good sci-fi, but really good drama, episodic telly. And then, I thought, to be honest, the next one after that was Shuttlepod 1, and I just happened to be in that quite good.
You must have preferred.
Having watched that a few times, I'm always surprised how regularly they go back to the ship, like anyone cares. Pardon, I spelled it with the PHUQE BBC spelling. Yeah, so, but we did some good, there were a few clunkers here and there.
You had some good banter with Trip.
Yeah,
Did
really.
you ever catch him up with him on
We're
cast
still
outside
very,
the show?
very dear friends, Connor and I, yeah. I still see John a little bit, and Anthony. Scott has a Christmas party that we tend to go to, and I see Scott at the driving range, effing and blinding. His dreadful swing. I've tried to coach him.
I've seen you pop up in...
Sorry, Scott. No, I'm not. It's a terrible swing. He's actually got quite a good swing.
I've seen you pop up in other TV shows as guests, like...
Yeah, I did afterwards. I had a little rash, didn't I? I had a recurring role on Heroes and then Prison Break and...
That's the ones.
Sons of Anarchy. I did a CSI. What else? I have to say...
You did a movie. I want to ask you about it.
Did
There's
Beowulf.
Yeah,
you're
you
going to ask about
voice-over.
Sherlock Holmes.
No, I was going to actually ask about
It was a free trip home, the Sherlock Holmes movie.
Species the Awakening.
Species, 3 or 4.
4 it was.
Yeah.
Is there any roles you regret
I played
taking?
an Aussie.
Yeah, you did.
Rather well.
God, no, mate. I don't have to ask you to do the straight accent.
It was my idea to make him up as an Aussie. I just didn't feel comfortable enough at that time to play him full American, and I just thought it was too boring to play him as a Brit or a Cockney or something. It was. Anyway, got the job, honey. Yeah, it was a fun. I'm still very friendly with Helena Matson. Her husband and I became very, very best friends, and I just emailed him before I walked into the room here today.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story. I mean, literally, I got flown down to Mexico City, and my first, I'd not even met Helena, who played the Vavavoon bird, and. So I got I got brought to set. I met her, and crap you not. 20 minutes later, we shot the naked writhing scene where she eats me. So I just met her, shook her hands, and the next minute she's butt naked on top of me. It's a living.
That's probably a role that you don't regret.
Yeah, no, I don't regret that role at all, and it was great working with Ben Cross. He's a real trooper, and it was a lot of fun. I got to see Mexico City. We stayed down there for about 2 months, and and they always pay you, so beats digging ditches, and I've done that too.
What else can we look out for from you in the future?
Well, I wish I could say something. I mean, I just spent the last 18 months doing that voice on Diablo 3, the Blizzard game.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I mean, in all honesty, I'm still in the rooms for some pretty good jobs, and I've come super close to some really good series regular stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just not falling my way at the moment, and I don't know. Luckily, I'm a clever actor who saved a lot of the money, invested wisely.
What do you like to watch these days? Are there any particular shows that you like? Do you like your reality, or is there a particular series out there?
Guilty pleasures. I have to say, The Voice and American Idol are still.
You still like them?
I don't know what it is about these kids just coming off the street and going and just singing their hearts out.
It's all about the story behind The Voice.
I love it. And the talent too. I mean, some of them are just supremely talented. And it's always fun to see J-Lo and her get up and the small village that must follow her around.
Get your talent manager to try and get you on Dancing with the Stars or something.
I might do lip sync first.
There you go, lip sync. Yeah, that's sort of taking you up over there.
That's a fun show, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Stephen Merchant. I didn't realise that he devised that from
There
Brit.
you go. Networking.
What else? I do watch a bit of episodic. I watch everything at least once to just get a
Except Enterprise.
No, I saw that too. Come on, Brett. We've been friends here now. Throw me under the bus.
You'll catch up. There's a lot of episodes to catch up on.
Ow, that one hurt. What am I watching at the moment episodically? A little bit of Game of Thrones.
Couple of the guys here for Ozcomic.
They are.
Well.
God bless. They are. Yes, the new kids on the block. God bless them.
Yeah.
Bit of what's Kevin Spacey's show with?
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Yeah, very good.
I remember the original back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Don't Smith. Ian Richardson was so terrific.
Yeah.
And so is Kevin Spacey. You've got to be so careful, haven't you? And then movies. I always watch the. I'm a member of BAFTA, so I get sent all the screeners for the good a lot of movies this year.
Yeah.
I love The Theory of Everything. I thought that was probably my favourite this year.
Yeah.
Imitation Game was
very good.
It was very just
very
engaging
clever.
and very watchable, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a terrific actor, Benedict, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, we better let you go because I know you've got a big weekend planned at Ozcomic this weekend.
Now,
in Adelaide next weekend. You'll enjoy Perth a lot better, but just warning you, you'll still have fun, don't worry.
I've been to Adelaide.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Well, thank you very much for your
Thanks,
time.
brother.
And I look forward to seeing you over the weekend.
No.